On the Marvel front, Mitch, if you're ready to go.
Oh my gosh, what isn't on the Marvel front? Obviously, first and
Exciting
foremost,
times.
Yeah, first and foremost, a lot of the Avengers stuff have been delayed, and I think that's a part of some of the things that we've already talked about. Obviously,
Yep.
Doomsday and Secret Wars have been pushed back respectively to 26 and 27. I think that's a big push though from Disney, just to make sure that the quality is there.
Hope so.
And a lot of it has to, I think, do with in part with Thunderbolts.
Underperformed, yeah.
Underperforming. And
bummer.
I mean, the thing of it is that I went to that movie. It wasn't bad.
No, I liked it a lot.
Wasn't a bad movie.
And I think I can't tell if it's just because of superhero fatigue. I don't think the characters were bad in any way. I really enjoyed U.S. Agent. I thought Black Widow's sister was great in it, and the humor was also there.
Yeah.
It didn't have that feel like Captain America, Brave New World, where it was just like some of the characters were put in there or like forced.
Sloppy and
the Winter Soldier. There was no reason for that scene in the winter, like for him to come in and give like a brief talk, except for just to pep him up. I mean,
right, because they've already been there too. That whole series was all about that.
That whole series was, So I think they're rewriting a little bit. I think a part of me hopes that the reason for the delay for Doomsday is so that they can get Spider-Man in there, because I know that there's conversations.
Yeah, they do have a fourth film announced, I think, but it's very early stages.
So I know that they're waiting on that. The talk is that the new Spider-Man movie's not going to be canon to Doomsday. It's going to be its own kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Or it could be after Doomsday. They just aren't sure if it's going to be multiversal or not.
Right.
And that's where they're heading with that. Obviously, with Thunderbolts, it's getting another title. They're taking out the asterisks.
They did that like the second week. They made it like the new
Avengers.
New Avengers.
But on the cover art, they're
taking away
they gave it more of a thunder font, and then it's like a little subtitle.
I think it'd be better if it just said Thunderbolts, the New Avengers, and then a dot and Bob.
Well, a lot of people say, and I think it's true. Captain America hurt the box office for Thunderbolts.
I think so. Yeah, I think it did. And it wasn't really the post credit scene. Obviously, knowing what that brings in, I think there's going to be a lot of tie-in. I don't think any of those characters were bad in that movie.
No.
They say that U.S. Agent's going to go through another rewrite again, and he's going to be slightly different in Doomsday again.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully not.
I mean, he gained more fans, I think, in this movie.
Yeah.
From if you didn't like him in the show, I think you definitely fell in love with him in this film.
Yeah, he went from like the grandpa and up with the Captain America helmet to like more of like a funny, likable character.
Great chemistry, that whole cast. And it's like a gritty Avengers, basically.
Just like all these leftovers that are just kind of thrown together that form together. I think that was a way better option.
Yeah.
And it didn't pass its $500 million mark.
It's a bummer because it had originality. And that's what a lot of these Marvel films and shows are lacking. It's not
felt
original.
like,
it's just.
Do you remember after we were kind of getting bored with the Marvel movies and then Ant-Man came out and it's like, whoa, this kind of feels like when the first time we watched Iron Man?
It wasn't cookie cutter so much. It was
and
like,
that's what Thunderbolts felt like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would definitely, if I had to choose ones to own, I mean, I kind of do anymore. Because some of them are just like, it's a waste of your money and time. That would definitely be a purchase, though. The
for sure.
Yeah. I dug it. But it's. I did hear that Fantastic Four, I guess, it ends and goes into Doomsday, I think.
Yeah. So my understanding is, and there's been a lot of stuff, so spoilers ahead if any of it's true, is that at the end, they aren't going to kill Galactus, but he's going to bring them into 616 somehow. Yeah. Or Reed Richards will bring them into 616 because Galactus will steal their baby, which is...
okay.
What's the name of their baby? He's like...
Franklin Richards,
which I guess he's like an Omega level mutant or something like that.
Sweet.
He's like basically the whole reason they did the Onslaught.
Yeah.
He can like... Yeah,
He's like Incredibles, right? He's like the baby Incredibles.
Pretty much. Like
pretty much
he's like a Swiss Army baby.
Right.
Yeah, Swiss Army baby.
Swiss Army baby. So I think that's how they're going to tie it all together. Is that Franklin Richards is going to be taken by Galactus, and then Frank Richards is going to find a way to get the newborn back. But I've also heard stuff on Kevin Feige leaving after Secret Wars. Did a little bit more research on that, and that is not coming from Feige. That's just something that somebody said on Twitter, and people ran with it.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Kathleen Kennedy.
We've heard she's going to quit,
quitting,
for
retiring
years now.
Yeah.
All this other.
I mean, there's
she needs to. I'm sorry.
But that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But
Other show.
This isn't the first time that Feige said something like this.
Yeah.
So until we actually hear it from him, I'm just going to take it with a grain of salt. I don't foresee him going anywhere for a long time, since he's still kind of the cash cow. But I think they need to slow it down, because remember, once they started doing streaming movie or shows, it's like the quality went away.
Yeah.
I mean, WandaVision, I think, was pretty good.
It got better as the series went on.
Yeah.
I was really kind of like, okay, where are they going with this? And it took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, I thought, was
good start.
It was a good start.
Yeah.
But again, the reason why that didn't do so well is because they had to do several rewrites, and there was some stuff that they were talking about, like pandemic-wise, when it hit, that they had to rewrite it because it was too close to what actually happened in real life, and it freaked people out.
That's a question for you guys. Like, okay, I know after 9/11 happened, people panicked, and I remember Zoolander came out. They're like, get the Twin Towers out of there, and everyone was kind of like really careful how to, go around the subject. When a storyline is too close to home, do you think it's worth to keep pursuing it?
I think if you
screwing it up,
if you want to make a parallel there, you're going to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Certain things like 9/11, that changed a lot. It changed the original Spider-Man.
Yep, that teaser,
because there was that teaser of him catching the helicopter between the Twin Towers.
Yep.
Take that out.
When is it appropriate to take it out versus when is it appropriate to leave in?
Should you not allow the real world problems to dictate your story? Like, if you already got it set in motion, no matter what happens, do you think it's best just to stay the course? Because sometimes it doesn't work out. Like, this Captain America series. Yeah. Obviously, in the moment of things, it's really hard, and your instinct is to let's not do that. But in hindsight, it's like, God, it would have been a better story, man.
Well, that's the story that was approved.
Yeah.
Right? So let's leave it as is.
Right.
And then let it go. I mean, the comics do bring in some real world scenarios.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not totally out of line for them to do something like that. And say it was something kind of close to that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if people were just so freaked out about it all happening. But, I mean, by the time that show came out, we were kind of on the downhill slope of it all and kind of over it all together.
I mean, it probably would have stressed us out even more, because it's like we can't even escape. But again, it's like if it jeopardizes the story that badly, it's like but I get it. They wanted to make money and they panicked, and it's always probably going to be that way. But I applaud people who just take the chance if they can. And fuck it, we're going to do it anyway.
That may be the Disney of old. That old kind of. Not to go down a rabbit hole, but that kind of woke that they took out of Disney a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that could have been a play in that.
Right.
I
mean, you could always put what do they call it? Like at the beginning of a film or something, just like a paragraph.
Like a disclaimer. This was, kind of like what they're doing with
some of the old movies,
like Looney Tune cartoons and stuff like that. Like, this is a product of its time.
Yeah.
It does not reflect.
Just understood. I mean, you see these things that were made in the 30s and stuff, and you got blackface comedy,
but with that, if you're writing that story and you want it done a certain way, and then the pandemic happens, but we already have this written. Do we go back and rewrite it, or do we just go with it as is? I think you should just go with it as is and be like, look, we didn't know this was going to happen while we were writing it,
right?
Yeah.
So
don't treat humanity as so fragile. Maybe take a chance and
it would be like it would be like if you wrote a movie where LA gets set on fire.
Yeah.
Before the LA fires happen.
Right.
what are you going to do? Just make it an earthquake instead? No.
Right.
Apparently that's okay though. I mean,
Yeah.
And then the pandemic is a no-no. But
Right.
You can't even say the name of the virus on YouTube without getting demonetized.
Oh, seriously? Still?
Yeah. Which is stupid. Or at least it was during the time you couldn't say the thing that is the same name as a shitty beer.
It's not a good beer.
Yeah. No, it's not.
I'm glad that we're at least aligned in that.
Yeah.
I've got so many friends that are like, oh, look at what I got in my ice chest. Have you guys tried Bush Light Apple?
No.
So I had some friends swear it was good, and you can't find it outside of Iowa. I guess Iowa's like the Bush Light capital of the world.
Right.
But I tried some, and it's not tasty. It's like
that's probably why Hy-Vee had it on clearance for like $4 for a 12-pack.
What?
It's like Bush with a hint of apple.
What was the last Bush flavor they had out?
Peach.
Okay, so if you go back to Super Unknown, probably a year ago or so, I found it's actually a local guy who's got quite a following on all the social media. He makes all these drinks. He hears about recipes. He does it.
Yeah.
If you mix that with Mountain Dew, it's really good.
Really?
And I had to go find it because I didn't want to buy like a 6-pack or a 12-pack.
Yeah.
So I had to go to like a gas station and get one of those tall ones,
With the old 24.
And that's what I did. Mixed it with Mountain Dew. We tried it on the show. It was great. It was awesome. It was very refreshing. But maybe apple needs to be paired with something. Try it.
You could be right.
I don't know. Coke would Pepsi would be it. The thing.
Apple.
Probably not Mountain Dew. Not Mountain Dew. You'd have to do something.
Little
Sprite. Bush.
Oh man,
I like my bushes. Tastes like apple.
But yeah, that Feige one, I also took when I first saw it as truth, but
right,
doing some.
I mean, it would make
research.
sense. Like he's kind of been stretched very thin, obviously, especially with what Gunn said. We already knew that though. Like Disney's mandate, like we gotta just keep making them, man. And
I think
scripts will be adjusted as we go. Like
and you can't
always do that, man.
It worked for Iron Man.
It did, but you had talent behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
That behind the scenes is just as intriguing, I think, as the film. Like it's
the fact
awesome.
they had half the movie done, and it was just Favreau and what's his face.
Yeah.
Robert just writing them.
Yeah.
As they went along each day, so you never knew. I mean, how a movie that detailed with that much action became something
that's what every Marvel movie should be, and superhero movies should be. It should have that originality. And I think Captain America, basically the first 4 main heroes they covered, those films are pretty solid, I think. And then they just kind of got cookie cuttery, and then Guardians was refreshing. James Gunn. So you have Jon Favreau, James Gunn, Thunderbolts director. I don't recall who that is, but like those stick out. Ant-Man. Yeah. Like all those are like ones that are not just
they're not cookie
going with the flow. Like they're actually unique, and they mix in a genre with with Winter Soldier. You had like espionage, and Ant-Man was a heist film. The first two were kind of heist films if you think about it. So the third one was just such a disconnect.
Third one could have been so much better, but they wanted to throw so much at the wall and see what stuck.
It was just too much, and it didn't have weight to it. And
that suffered because they basically took. Did the Marvels come out before that or after that? Something like that. Somehow those two got switched.
Oh God!
In the production schedule, so one got rushed and one got delayed.
Oh, okay,
but it still didn't.
Something like that.
But it still didn't help either of those films.
So I could see Feige stepping down. I could see him stepping down after the next 2 Avengers, which, like it said, maybe not. But I also know and kind of hope, he's a Star Trek fan. They need new leadership, and if he took over for that, that would be amazing. Because he actually, let's see, what was the last TNG episode influenced Endgame? All good things.
Really?
Yeah.
So I always thought that was really cool, and like a possibility for him to move over to Star Trek. That would be awesome. I hope so, but we'll see.